Welcome back to Primetime News.
Special welcome to those of you watching on onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening, scores of medical technologists from St. James to Portland say they were left with no choice but to protest today.
It follows the strained relationship between the workers and their unions about their wage negotiations.
As Jamaica Maitland reports, though the turnout was disappointing, it has not daunted the healthcare workers who say they want to sign the current wage deal offered by the government.
Clad in black with placards hoisted in hands, the medical technologists at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James used their lunchtime break to demonstrate. Not too far away, confused patients looked on.
We didn't want it to reach this way, but we had no choice. The involuntary hunger strike that was brought upon us by the chief delegate, whose name is on that document, it was forced on us. So we didn't want the public to be affected by our go-slow, and also our sit-out between the lunch hour, which is 12 to 1, but we had to make a stand.
It comes on the heels of a breakdown in the wage negotiations between the healthcare workers and their union, the Union of Technical, Administrative and Supervisory Personnel, UTASP. According to senior medical technologist Delana Montague, the aggrieved workers, majority of whom are the lower end of the pay scale, want to sign the deal, but there's a problem.
We are basically acting against what UTAS has been doing to us. They refuse to sign the wage agreement, which is phase 1, and move on to phase 2. We are frustrated with the chief delegate, who is adamant that he's not signed in.
It was a similar scene at the Black River Hospital in St. Elizabeth, the Percy Junior and Mandeville Hospitals in Manchester, the Maypen Hospital in Clarendon, and the Port Antonio Hospital in Portland. Medical technologists at the hospitals in Kingston and St. Andrew were expected to participate. However, when TVJ News showed up, nothing. Like the Comprehensive Health Center on Slipe Road, when our news team arrived at the Bustamante Hospital for Children, we didn't observe any sign of unrest. Now, when we asked employees if they were aware of any protests by the medical technologists, they too weren't so sure. But is the inconsistency in the industrial action by the group also a part of the problem, or are they afraid of being victimized? We spoke to a former medical technologist who resigned from her job because of the alleged victimization. According to the woman, who didn't want to be identified, she wrote a letter to the Prime Minister asking for intervention when the alleged verbal attacks occurred.
The letter was published in the medical technologist group across all the islands, and then there came forth the backlash from not really persons like that are employed to the different regions, but more so persons from National Public Health Laboratory and the Blood Transfusion Service.
And what were they saying?
Just a whole bunch of stuff that, I would not want to repeat.
And now, the other medical technologists are joining in on her cause.
We are clamoring for the thing to be signed and for the government to intervene to give us some assistance. The Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Health, Jamaica Confederation of Trade Union, Mrs. Ellen Davis White, and we would love if they could intervene and give us some impetus, because medtechs are suffering island-wide. They are unable to pay their bills. A starting medtech salary is $95,000, and with the government new wage package, they will be making upwards of $249,000.
But will the protests trigger a response from the union? We tried reaching out to UTAS President St. Patrice Ennis about the issues raised, but did not receive a response up to news time. Jamaica Maitland, TVJ News.